Blessed greetings, guys. So today is March 28th, 2021. It is the full moon in Libra. It is also the worm moon. So I want to welcome everybody back. And to those of you who are new, welcome. This is my channel. I don't have no fancy YouTube name. Haven't really felt one yet, or embodied one right now yet. So I just go by my name, Tammy Moody. On my channel, it is going to be pretty much all witchy and pagan themed, as that's what I practice, that's what I believe, that's what I have embodied. We will be doing witchy subscription boxes. I have 4 right now. Currently going to be going down to 3. I am just finishing a subscription for 1 box. So the month of April, you'll see 4 uploads for witchy subscriptions, and then it'll go back to 3. I don't have money like that right now to be having more than my 3, although I would love to. The current boxes that I have right now, I have the Witch's Moon, which is a witchy subscription box from the United States. I have Witch's Casket, which is a witchy subscription box from the UK. And then I have Hag Swag, which is a Canadian witchy subscription box from here in Canada. And my newest one, my first subscription box is in transit right now. From the looks of it, I'm hoping it may be here sometime next week, or I should say sometime this week. Latest, maybe early the next week, is the Intentional Witch. I'm very excited for this box because she actually didn't deliver outside of the United States and took it upon herself when I had messaged her to tell her that here in Canada, like us Canadian witches, we don't have a lot of witchy subscription boxes. And, it would be nice to have a variety, because there are a few US witchy subscription boxes that, we're interested in, but like the shipping fees are just ridiculous. So it doesn't really, like nobody wants to pay $30 shipping fee, right? So she took it upon herself to investigate further and deeper into it, and actually found a way to subscribe to us Canadian witches, her box, for a shipping fee of $10, I believe it was, which I'm so appreciative of, and honestly didn't even think that, she would do that. So she actually went above and beyond and realized, like, hey, I got some witchy sisters, to the north of me that would love to be able to get her boxes. And I've never seen any other subscription boxes of how she does hers. Hers, you choose your intention every month. So every month your box is different and nobody's box is the same. So, and I love that. And, she also asks your input of like, what are potential boxes that you would be interested in seeing, which I thought was phenomenal. So once I get that box, I will obviously be doing my unboxing video for that, and obviously giving you more info on that. So next month there'll be 4 subscriptions that'll be coming in. But Hag Swag, it's my last box next month for the month of April. It's my last subscription box for that one. We also do coffee and crystal talk, or tea and crystal talk, depending on what it is I'm drinking. You never know, the warmer weather's coming, could possibly be, you know, a nice fancy umbrella drink and crystal talk. Who knows? I like to choose, you know, between 5 to 10 crystals, and just talk specifically about those crystals and their properties. And if I have any actual like experiences working with those crystals, I'll talk about that as well. So I mean, when I do those talks, they tend to be a little longer, just because I add my personal experiences with each of those crystals if I've worked with them. There are some crystals here that I haven't worked with yet, but those videos tend to be longer, and I always put like a little kind of like heads up, like, hey, like this is a long video, because, you know, it's not just a like, you know, hey, this is amethyst, and this is what amethyst can do. Okay, so this is citrine, this is, I like to be personal, you know, and on my video I like to be personal. So I mean, if you're looking for a little, you know, 10-15 minute video or 20-minute video, you know, you may want to pick a different time to kind of sit and watch some of my videos on my channel. You know, some of them are a little shorter, but not usually. I do have my 2 little witchlings on my videos sometimes. My son is actually quite frequently in my videos for the unboxings. And my younger daughter's been here a few times when I've done my unboxing, which is why I always ask for you guys to be respectful if you're putting comments down below, because both of my children follow me. And I mean, they're 10 and 11 years old, so they know how to read. And that's not something I want them to be reading. We shouldn't be doing it anyways. We should be embracing one another and encouraging one another, not you know, tearing each other down or telling us that we're doing something wrong. There is no wrong on this path, really. It's you do what feels right for you. So what resonates for you, that's what you do. That's what I believe. You know, I mean, unless you're really causing harm to people, then I mean, who am I to tell you it's wrong? I'm not here going to be telling people it's wrong. You should know that, you know, we don't cause harm to people. So if you are doing that, then the universe has ways of, you know, coming around, so to speak. So I also do spell work on here. I've done a I just had a brain fart. Spell jars. That's what I was thinking. Ooh, yes, full moon. Let's just mess with my language. I've done spell jars on here. I did for self-love, and then love jars. I believe I did one for candles, dressing a candle. I will be doing more of those. I also want to do like dream pillows, dream pouches, dream sacks, or like spell sacks, sorry, not just specifically for dreams. I also want to do more candle magic. I do want to start incorporating a small little ritual for the Wheel of the Year. Obviously moon magic, which is what we're going to be doing Today we're going to be talking about the full moon today, why it's called the worm moon, stuff like that. There's a bunch of stuff that I'll be doing on this channel. As I kind of think of them, each time I do a channel, I'll try and mention, but like, oh, by the way, I thought about doing this. And if you guys have any ideas or suggestions of topics that you want to do, or you want to, see me do, or if I know how to do, by all means, write it in the comments down below. And just like a disclaimer, like, I'm not saying that it's okay for you to use your magic to harm people. I actually just thought about what I said previously. It's not okay. That's not what we're about. We don't use our magic to hurt people. Unfortunately, there are some people that will do that, which makes the majority of us look bad. What I'm saying is, if that's what you choose to do with your craft and your practice, and you like to use it to harm people, just know that it comes back 3 times fold. That's what I'm saying. It's never okay in any type of practice or any type of religion to cause harm to another human being or animal or anything else. It's never okay to do that. I just wanted to kind of clarify that in case somebody tries to like misinterpret what I was trying to say. So, because people can be funny. Okay, so today I have my coffee and my lovely Susie Q donuts. It is a moon cycle treat. I started my moon cycle on the full moon. Who knew? So, just a little TMI, my apologies, but this is my snack, so you may see me eating my donut as I drink my coffee. So, today is the full moon in Libra, so we'll kind of talk about a bit about that. It's also the worm moon. So I'm not going to go into like a huge detail about it. I'm still learning myself. So I will just kind of touch bases on what I know so far. And if you guys know more about it, please feel free and, put your information. And, if it's sites that you get your information from, please feel free to put those sites down below in the comments as well. We're all always learning, and I like to learn, So the worm moon, this month it fell on the 28th of March. It's called the worm moon because spring arrives, the ground starts to thaw, the earthworms start coming out and kind of moving the soil and wakening the soil up, and kind of loosening the soil up. And the warmer it gets, the worms will start kind of really peeking their heads out of the soil. Then you'll start seeing the birds kind of flocking around and obviously eating the worms. So this full moon, it's the first full moon of the spring season. And it is called the, let's see if I can pronounce this right. Paschal moon. I apologize if I'm not saying it right. 2. Easter Sunday is the following weekend, so they say get ready. We don't celebrate the Christian Easter in my house. We celebrate Astara and the spring equinox, which is where Easter originated from, so to speak. So We actually did that kind of full conversion this year. You know, we talked together as a family, myself and my husband and both of my older daughters, as both my older daughters practice as well. And we, as a family, decided that's how we were going to do it. And then we talked to our two younger ones, who are 10 and 11, and they wanted to do that as well. So the full moon, or sorry, the worm moon has other names as well. Just give me one sec. I'm just trying to find it. I don't usually use my laptop to store my information, but my wrists have been bothering me a lot lately, so I usually use my laptop for watching Netflix and stuff like that, or, you know, unboxings. I do use it to look up information, but I don't, usually when I do my videos, I actually write everything down. So I'm just trying to get the other names for it. Let me see, maybe it was this one. I know one of the names was the Crow Moon. You know what, let me just do this, because for some reason my stuff that I had typed out here is not here for the names. Okay, yeah. So the other names for the last full moon of winter, it's the Leighton moon, Crow moon, Crest moon, Chast moon, Sugar moon, and Sap moon. And then Worm moon, that's the other names for that moon. And so Libra, it's in Libra, this moon. And each full moon, when it's in a zodiac sign, it'll have a different effect on different people depending on your zodiac sign, which is your sun sign. You have your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. So I was born January 3rd. I am a Capricorn. That is my sun sign. My moon sign is Gemini. So it was in Gemini. The moon was in Gemini when I was born. My rising is in Cancer. So as I know more about that, I'll explain to you. I'm not quite there yet, knowledge-wise, when it comes to that aspect. For the astrology part, I'm kind of still reading on all that. So when I'm a little more comfortable and know more, then, I will, kind of talk with you guys about that. So your zodiac, so Aries, which is the very first sign of like the zodiac calendar. So this full moon in Libra tells you to focus on your love life, and make sure you're striking a healthy balance between you and your partner's needs. Try to do more listening than talking, sorry, as you have a chance to understand things from a different point of view. And then if you're single, this is still an important time to get real about dynamics within other close partnerships and nip any issues in the bud. So, it could be relationships with siblings, could be relationships with friends, co-workers, business partners, like any type of relationship that you're in. It doesn't have to be like an actual like sexual relationship. Just, pay attention to those. If your zodiac sign is like your sun sign is in Taurus, for this full moon in Libra, it's shining its spotlight on your routine. Have you found a balance between your work time and your free time, or between your schedule and your freedom? Now's the time to evaluate whether your daily habits are supportive of your overall wellness, and make adjustments as needed. Self-care means making sure all your needs are being met. So if you're focusing more on, say, your work, okay, well, it's time to kind of reevaluate that and be like, okay, I need to find a balance between my work and, my time, and you got to start trying to work to find a balance between the two, because you need to have a balance or you'll just run yourself down. For Gemini, it is, alrighty. So this one, it's talking about your love life. If you're looking to bring some added romance into your current relationship, or are on the market for a new one, now's a great time to plan a fun date night. The full moon is lighting up your way, playfulness and creativity, making sparks fly, putting hearts in your eyes. So if you're already currently in a relationship and you've kind of been feeling like, you want to kind of spice things up, if your sun sign is in Gemini and you are a Gemini, this would be the perfect time for you to do that. Set a spontaneous, fun, date night. Obviously with a pandemic, it's very hard to do that. But I mean, the warmer weather is coming. I mean, depending on where you're living, if it is warm, do a date night in your backyard. You don't have to go somewhere. You could, if you have kids, get the kids settled, cook them a dinner, get them all settled and stuff like that. And then kind of, set them up in another room. If you have, like a family room in a separate part of the house, set them up there with some little snacks and they can watch TV, like put it on the Netflix, the kids section, let them kind of have their movie night. And then you cook a separate dinner for yourself and your spouse, and you guys have a date night. You're still in the house. You're not risking your life. I know it's hard with the pandemic going on for people to really be able to do that. But I mean, you can do it at home too. You gotta, set things up, set the mood up, So that was for Gemini. And for Cancer, So it just says, you know, been a lot of emphasis on your work life lately. But this lunation asks you to slow down so you can restore the balance in your emotional life. Spend time at home doing things that feed your soul, such as relaxing, reconnecting with loved ones, or watching a feel-good romantic movie. Honoring your feelings and being gentle with yourself is a must. So basically, reel back the work life, you know, leave work at work, you know, come home, spend time at home, you know, do stuff at home. You know, like it said, reconnecting with your family. You know, if you've been working a lot and, you know, you're a single person and you're working a lot, it's very common and very easy to get caught up with just working and, you know, going to work, coming home, you know, doing more work at home and then going back to work and just not really going out, especially with our times right now, you know. So leave your work at work. You know, if you come home, you know, put those pajamas on, pour that glass of wine, you know, spend some time with yourself, pick up the phone. We have FaceTime now. They have all kinds of little chat things where you can, you know, talk with a bunch of different people all at once. You know, call up a bunch of your friends or, you know, some family members and be like, hey, I'm setting up a time chat for this time on this day. You know, everybody has their little drinks and everybody just talk, you know, like a little chat room with your family or your friends, you know, reconnect with them that way, you know. It's telling you your soul needs that, so pay attention. So Leo, so this is a busy and social full moon for you Leos, and you'll be making fun and flirty connections everywhere you turn. Talk through any issues that arise within your relationships. However, with so many wires getting crossed, it'll be easy to feed into the rumor mill unintentionally. So beware and getting carried away with gossip. So gotta love that gossip, you know. It's so nice to see that. I mean, we all remember gossip and rumors when we were in school. And then to see it still there, you know, through my 20s, through my 30s, and now I'm, you know, halfway through my 40s, and to still see that there, and it's such a prominent thing. It's just, I don't know, it baffles me. Anyways, so you Leos, don't play into it. You know, if you have a bunch of little birds, sorry, chirping over there, walk the other way. Don't even bother wasting your time and getting involved and getting wrapped up in all the chirping that they be doing, because it's, no, don't do it. Walk away, do something else. It's a good time for you guys to make other connections with other people, you know, and kind of see where that goes. Alrighty, so we are in Virgo now. Let's see, Virgo. So let's get luxurious, Virgos. This full moon is shining a spotlight on your financial situation. Bro, I don't understand what's wrong with my voice. I feel like I'm going through puberty again. My voice keeps changing. I think it's just my allergies. Inspiring you to balance your bank account, whether it be saving or spending. If you've been on a shopping spree recently, now might be the time to kind of buckle down, kind of reel that back and get a little frugal. But if you've been wise with your pennies, perhaps this is a cosmic sign that it's time for you to splurge a little on something and indulge yourself. So depending on which way you are, if you've kind of been a little manic with your money and, you know, spending quite a bit, now would be the time for you to kind of reel that back. kind of pinch your pennies a little, be a little more wise about your spending. And if you've been the opposite, where you've literally just been banking your money, it's time for you to kind of splurge a little, treat yourself, get that new tarot deck that you wanted, get those crystals that you've been eyeballing for the last month. So now we are in Libra, which our moon is in Libra. So let's see how it affects this kind of double Libra. Step in front of the mirror, because this illumination is all about you. Have you been paying enough attention to your needs, your wants, your desires? There's been a lot of focus on relationships in your life lately, but now's the time to prioritize yourself. Find your light and stay true to it. Because if you can't be your authentic self, how will you show up for others? Which this is so true. In general, this is true for anybody and any sign. It's just right now for Libra, this is what you guys need to kind of focus on, is you need to focus on yourself. You need to kind of take that step back of focusing on other people and other relationships and things like that. And you need to start focusing on yourself and making sure that all of your wants and desires and needs, aspiration, all that stuff, make sure all that stuff is being met for you. And if it's not, kind of start writing a list down, document that stuff, journal that stuff, and then how are you going to change that? And how are you going to put yourself as a priority instead of everybody else? And for Scorpio, this moon in Libra, this full moon in Libra, is asking for you to take a break from your work, giving your body and your mind some much needed time to rest. If you're trying to manifest your intentions when it comes to love, work, or personal goals, it can be helpful to get in touch with your spiritual side. Try performing a Libra full moon ritual or doing a guided manifestation meditation. So this one is pretty much, again, focus on yourself, kind of get yourself in order, before you take on other goals. You know what I mean? You can't really be trying to manifest other goals and work on other goals and other projects and stuff if you're not in alignment with yourself, right? It kind of defeats the purpose, That's what I think anyways. So Sagittarius, let's see. So under this full moon, you're likely to find yourself analyzing the dynamics with any groups that you're a part of. Whether it's your crew of friends, colleagues at work, your larger community, you'll be able to easily spot issues and weak spots. So use your awareness to play the mediator and smooth out any issues. So basically, your insight is going to be kind of heightened for catching, underlining issues, underlining like potential problems, tensions, things like that. You're going to be more in tune to kind of catching those. So use that and be the mediator between it and, kind of help, your circle of friends or your colleagues or your greater community that you may be a part of, kind of use this full moon and your heightened sense for that to kind of iron out any of those kinks that may be there. Now would be the time for you to do that. So that way going forward, those kinks have been ironed out, and there's no surprises, there's no surprise blow-ups, because everybody's kind of talked everything out, and you've mediated everything out with everybody. You work together to come to a solution so that we can squash it and move forward, right? So now we are in my sign, Capricorn. Hey. Let's see what's in store for me. So wow, says let's get down to business. You've been deep in your feelings this week, but the full moon will shift your focus onto your professional life and help to boost your standing. Use your people skills to make a good impression on your bosses and form alliances with your colleagues. Your presence is powerful and your talents will be on display for all to see. Interesting. So, as Capricorns, this would be a good time, basically, for us to shine. It's a good time for us to kind of focus on our professional life. Not like, I don't know, not just for work, if you were trying to start like your own small little business, that's professional. You're working for yourself. So this would be a good time for you to kind of work on the skills for that. And if you're make a good impression of yourself and your product and what you want to do. You have good people skills. Use those people skills to impress the community. Be like, hey, listen, this is what I was thinking on doing. I would really love you guys' input, your support. You can form alliances with even if it's a small little business that you're doing and you're still working at a job, align it with that. Like for me, it's my YouTube channel. I've been really, really trying to focus on my channel and putting more content on my channel and kind of growing from there. I've also been leaning more to focusing on doing readings outside of my home and doing readings for like the public, basically. I've been told to do that and that I should do that, and I've always been kind of like but I've actually been wanting to do that. And I've like I've said in a previous video, I have done 2 readings for some colleagues of mine and got extremely positive feedback from them. They both offered to pay me and had kept offering to pay me, and I had to tell them like, no, like I'm not charging anything, for now. And but it's something that I have been kind of toying around with in my brain, of having that channel where I would do readings. I've also been looking at doing my own essential oil blends and like dressed candles, things like that. It's when you have so many different ideas kind of floating around in your head, you kind of have to pick one to start with, right? So that's kind of my challenge right now is, okay, which one do I want to start with? And right now I started off with my YouTube channel because that is something that I want to really build on, and I'm hoping grow, where I have a bunch of subscribers, not looking for this as, you know, like other people do YouTube channels because they actually do it because they want to get up to the bar where they get paid. I don't need all that. I work and I'm very happy where I work. Me, it's just to have enough followers. So, you know, you have like a little community, you know, your little coven, so to speak, right? For me, that's all it is, you know, and just to teach and, you know, make me people more aware of who we are, you know, and what we are and what we stand for as, you know, witches and, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So Aquaries, let's get into Aquaries. So a constant busy schedule makes it hard to pencil in time for brand new adventures, like adventures and stuff. So, like taking a class, booking a vacation. Nobody's booking a vacation anytime soon. But this lunation will inspire you to take charge of your aspirations, get some spontaneous, and turn life into an adventure. Your large-scale dreams have value, Aquarius, even if at first it doesn't seem like you have room to accomplish them in your everyday life. You know, make it happen. So just, you know, it's just telling you be more spontaneous and like step out of your comfort zone, you know, because, you know, everything has just been like a busy, hectic schedule for you. And, you know, you haven't really penciled in any time for fun. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to plan a vacation, go anywhere, things like that, obviously with what's going on in the world today. But I mean, go for a hike, you know, be spontaneous, pack up that backpack, you know, pack up that, you know, cooler, go for a hike somewhere, you know, where you have a picnic in the woods or, you know, whatever, like, you know, because I mean, it's just you and, you know, whoever else, you know, you may be bringing with you that's in your bubble, you know. So this is Pisces. Let's see what's up for Pisces. So this full moon is about boundaries for you guys. It's easy for lines to get blurry within your partnerships, whether that's because of your personal life bleeding into your work responsibilities or your feelings becoming too intertwined in someone else's. Now's your chance to kind of step back, set some boundaries that'll protect your vulnerability and make your relationship stronger, and speak your truth. Sometimes, you know, you can walk a really fine line and it gets so fine that it becomes very hazy, and then you kind of teeter-totter on the two sides. You know, so you can have so much stuff going on in your personal life that you kind of bring in your personal life to work, which then interferes with your responsibilities with your work life, you know, your responsibilities at work and your job and co-workers. You know, if you deal with the public for your job, well, it can interfere with dealing with the public as well. And sometimes it can be a real negative impact, you know. So it's time for you to kind of reel that back and draw those boundaries and put those lines there. You know, what goes on at home stays at home, and vice versa. You know, sometimes there could be so much going on in your work life and at work and your work responsibilities that you end up bringing your work home, you know. Well, now you're inflicting all of that on your family life and in your home, you know. So now those lines have become blurred and you're now bringing your work home. And if it's a negative which 9 out of 10 it usually is, now you're bringing that negative energy from your work home. So now, your wife or, your spouse is affected by it. If you have children, your children are affected by it. Even your fur babies, you have your fur babies, your fur children at home, they're affected by it too. They're very sensitive. They know when, their human is, stressed or upset, anxiety, sick. They know all that. They sense all of it. They feel it. Fur babies aren't stupid. They feel, so it's time for you guys, you Pisces, to redraw those boundaries, so to speak. Put those boundaries back up, because they got a little blurry over the last little while. So that's it for the astrology part of it, of the effects of this full moon in Libra. I have a girlfriend of mine who loves doing crystal gridding. I haven't gotten into that yet. Eventually, I do want to get into crystal gridding and knowing more about it. I have a lot that I'm doing, so I'm trying to stay more focused on a few things at a time. But I thought I would give a few little ideas. So when she does watch this channel, this is for you, Joss. So these are like just different kind of possible ideas for doing your crystal gridding. Listen to me. Do you hear that English? Gridding is what I meant to say. So let's get into it. I just want to get just the information. All right, so the perfect crystals for this full moon, if you are doing a crystal grid, is rose quartz, tiger's eye, green aventurine, citrine, lapis lazuli, amethyst, and aquamarine. Feel free to use whichever crystals you wish. Intuitively select crystals that have powers for whatever you want to call in. For example, rose quartz based grid, I would call in love, compassion, and kindness, and so forth, right? Add in leaves and petals of other items you foraged on your walk. So they're talking about, going for a walk and foraging, flowers. I mean, here in Ottawa, we don't really have any flowers that have been growing yet. But I mean, you can use like some of the pine cones, some of the cedar or like pine tree branches that may have fallen. You can use some of that to kind of put with your crystal gridding. If you live by a river or creeks, all of that water has already kind of started thawing and kind of moving and flowing. You can use some of the rocks from, the rivers and the creeks and stuff like that. A lot of flowers are starting to come out in the shops, in grocery stores and flower shops, like tulips and things like that, geraniums and stuff like that, hydrangeas, stuff like that. Pick up some of those flowers and incorporate them with your crystal gridding. It makes very beautiful crystal grids. I've seen a few crystal grids where they've used, different things from the element like water, stuff for earth and flowers and, stuff like that. And then, letting go, as, you know, once you're happy with your crystal grid, it's time to let go of everything that's been holding you back. And, you know, call into your life the things that you desire. So once you do your crystal grid, you have it set, you're happy with it, you're content with it, you know, you feel it. Now it's time for you to let go. You know, we need to let go of the things that no longer serve us. And that way it makes room for us to welcome in what we want and what we desired. Get it? All right. Now there are some crystals that you can use to work with this full moon, the worm moon. So one of the crystals that was mentioned when I was doing my research was moldavite. And I know there was this whole craze on TikTok about moldavite. I was talking to my sister who owns a witchy store, and her coworker, Nico. We were talking about it, and you know, people were buying multivite because it was such a big thing, and they were going out and buying multivite. First of all, is not cheap. It's expensive. She an expensive crystal. But people were going out and buying moldavite and then having complete meltdowns and you know, making huge drastic changes in their life that they may not have quite been ready to make yet. Do you know what I mean? So be very, very careful with moldavite. Don't work with moldavite unless you're absolutely sure you're there to work with it. Hello, squirrel. Sorry. There's a squirrel peeking at me in my tree. So I'm not going to get too much into moldavite just because, you know, there's so much right now with TikTok with the whole moldavite thing, and it's not something I want to encourage people to really go out and buy because it's an expensive ass crystal. And B, like, you really got to be like mentally and just like everything kind of aligned to even be working with that crystal. So the other crystals is moonstone, which I have a moonstone here. Give me one sec. Sorry guys, you're gonna see my whole body here. Where are you? There you are. Ooh, yep, that's cool. Just gonna drop another crystal that went behind my shelf. I'm not sure how the heck I'm gonna get that one, but so this is, I know there's a glare. This is a worry stone. This is a moon stone here. So this is the #1 moon crystal. It is the staple crystal for all your lunar practices. Moonstone aligns strongest with the full moon. Its bright and luminous qualities show you the way ahead. Moonstone holds the power of million moons and delivers it from the palm of your hands. At some point, I will be doing a crystal channel for all of the properties of the moonstone. I'm not going to get too much into that right now because we're talking about the full moon for tonight, which was actually last night. So was Saturday night and then into tonight. And then Monday is when it changes. Labradorite is another one, which I have here. I'm trying to see, I have another piece of labradorite this one you can see. So this is Libra, right? So you can see, you may not be able to. So it has a rainbow kind of flash to it when you tilt it certain ways in the light, but I don't think the camera is gonna pick it up. I was trying to find, I have another small piece, but I think it actually might be in my little kind of witchy box. Well, I have some of my smaller crystals in because I have a lot of smaller crystals. So labradorite. I really can't speak today. It's full of moon magic. This dark beauty flashes with rainbows, like the moon, like the midnight sky, with celestial stars. It aligns with the new moon, helping you find new beginnings in the darkness. So you would use this crystal and feel like you are being guided by your spirit guides, angels, and all beneficial beings of the unseen world. So, I mean, it's basically, it'll make you feel like your, spirit guides, your ancestors, or if you work with angels, your angels, any being of the unseen world, they're there with you and they're guiding you. And then the other one is selenite. So this is a selenite athame. I've also got a selenite wand here, and I have a selenite kind of big pyramid one over there. So selenite is named after the goddess Selene. This moon crystal glows with a glorious silky white sheen. Selenite aligns with the crescent moon, protecting your aura through the journeys of life. Use selenite and feel hopeful that the world is working in your favor because you believe miracles do come true. I carry a piece of selenite with me quite frequently. I don't carry it with me every day, as it's a it's a delicate crystal, so it can kind of get scratched and chipped and things like that if you're carrying it in a bag, like a crystal bag like this. But I will carry a piece of selenite if my intuition kind of tells me to carry it. I always have the same set of crystals in my crystal pouch here, which has like all the full moon phases on it, or sorry, all of the moon phases on it. But then I carry crystals in my bra every day, but they're never the same crystals. I kind of intuitively pick my crystals for that day. The two crystals, I have two crystals that I carry pretty much every day, which is an amethyst and a rose quartz, and a sodalite. But I change them up every day, and I kind of intuitively pick what crystals I'm going to be, carrying with me as I'm at work. So some ideas of, if you're new to this practice and, you're a new witchling, so to speak, I'm actually going to take a bite of my donut now because it's sitting here. The full moon is a good time to cleanse your crystals. So as long as you know the weather for the night, and it's not going to be raining, snowing, anything like that, you know, depending on what season it is. But full moons in general, they're a really good time for you to charge your crystals. So you can charge and cleanse them under the full moon. You know, if you know that it's not going to rain, you can put your crystals out. You know, put them in a little dish, put them outside under the full moon. If you have a ledge big enough, you can also put them on the ledge of your window, your like windowsill ledge, and you can charge them that way. Any of your witchy tools, you know, you can charge under the full moon. You know, your cauldron, your athame, you know, your wand, you know, anything. You can also make full moon water, like moon water. You can make moon water actually for all the phases of the moon, because they each have a different meaning and property in them. A lot of people generally either make new moon water or full moon water. We make full moon water quite frequently. The last few full moons, I haven't made any water, just because the temperatures were really, really cold. I actually had a couple of my jars that kind of cracked and burst. So, I mean, if it's wintertime and you're making them, just be careful. Maybe, you know, depending on how cold it is, maybe only an hour out under the full moon. Obviously, with the warmer weather coming now, we can leave the water out. Just make sure you bring your jars back in before the sun rises, because you don't want the sun hitting it. Always use a glass jar if you are making full moon water. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my, there we go. Yeah, so make a glass, always use a glass jar. If the base of your glass jar, like the lid, is really big, just turn it upside down. So let's say it's, you know, like this, you would just turn it upside down so it's just the glass bottom that is being, you know, in that the moon is hitting the jar. Sorry, I can't think of the word that I wanted to use. It completely slipped my mind. You can also make full moon elixirs. So there are certain crystals that are okay to be put in water, where you make it into an elixir. Amethyst is one, rose quartz is one, citrine is one. There's a few of them that you can do that with. So, I mean, obviously you would make sure that your crystal is clean. You can cast your circle and call in the directions. If you're working with a specific god or goddess, or both, or just your spirit guides and your ancestors, whatever it may be, you know, you can call them in to help you. Your crystal, you place your crystal in your hand, or you can place it on your heart, and you want to put the intention into your crystal of what it is that you want, and then you would put it inside your jar with your water, and then you would put that water out to be blessed and cleansed, and the magic of the moon to kind of be embodied in the water. And you would leave it sit there, you know, overnight or for a few nights. You can leave it overnight, like I said. Just make sure you bring it in before the sun comes up. And then you have your moon water elixir. your crystal moon water elixir for, whatever it is that you've, whatever intention it is that you put into your crystal. I also hold a jar as well. I always put my intention in my jars as well. Even if I'm not putting a crystal in it, I always put my intentions in my jars that I am putting out for my moon water. So my moon water will have that intention in it. You can put it in the fridge and, drink some of it, so much every day. You can leave them on your altar. Just make sure that it's in a dark place so the sun's not hitting it. And then you can use it for spell work. I actually use my moon water for painting. If I'm doing paintings for my Book of Shadows or like my witchy kind of paintings that I'm painting, I will use it for that. I will also use my moon water in my baths. I've used my moon water to make my tea. You can use it for multiple things. The other thing that's good to do for a full moon is acknowledge and release. So for that, you would acknowledge all of, the feelings that you have, like, even like with your shadow self. If you've been doing a lot of shadow work, you would acknowledge all of those feelings. You can write those feelings down on a parchment paper or on bay leaf. Those are feelings that you want to get rid of now. So anything that you want to get rid of, stress, anxiety, anger, whatever the case may be, write those feelings out on a parchment paper or write those feelings out on a bay leaf. And you can use more than one bay leaf. You don't have to try and only use. I've done this spell with my kids and even my son-in-law, and sometimes like my girls have used more than one bay leaf. And once you have them written on the bay leaf, just hold the bay leaf, and just put all of those feelings in those bay leaves and just kind of hold that bay leaf. And then you have your cauldron. This is one of the reasons why I got a bigger cauldron. You have your cauldron, and you would burn those bay leaves. I would usually have a candle here as well. So you would take the bay leaf or the parchment paper, you would set it on fire, hold it for a few minutes, and then put it in your cauldron. And then you let those burn down. Once those are burned down completely to ashes, sometimes with bay leaves and even sometimes with parchment paper, you kind of have to set them on fire again. So you would do it until it's completely burnt out and it's all ashes. And because that's something that we want to get rid of, you would dump the ashes away from your home. So you want to go away from your home and bury those ashes. Or if you have a creek or river, you can dump those ashes in there so they're carried away, and Mother Earth takes those in for you. And then we do a welcome in, so then we're going to sit and we're going to write down what we want to bring in to ourselves. Now that we've created that hole and that space, now we want to fill that space and that hole with whatever positive intentions that we want to bring in, right? We don't want to leave it empty, because if we leave it empty, it could potentially fill up with negative energies again, right? So we want to fill that hole, that void, with positive energies and positive affirmations. So now we're going to sit and do the same process. We're going to write down what we want. And there's two ways of doing that one. You can write them down and you can bury those intentions close to your home, or you can write them down, fold them up, and hide them somewhere, you know, in your personal space. Or you can write them down and do the same process with the fire magic, and you burn them in your cauldron. And then those ashes you would bury close to your home, because that's what we're drawing in. Um, I like to work with fire, so I like to do a lot of things with fire. So I usually burn it, and then I bury those ashes in my garden, you know, or in my flower pots, whatever. Um, but yeah, so those are, you know, then, you know, take a nice, relaxing full moon bath, you know, with some bath salts and some incense and some candles and some crystals that are safe to be around water. You know, listen to some nice calming meditative music, you know, do a deep meditation, um, do a tarot card spread for yourself, oracle spread for yourself. If you work with your pendulum, you know, you can do a bit of work with your pendulum. If you work with runes, you can do a rune spread or a rune toss. Do a bit of journaling of, you know, how everything kind of worked, working your book of shadows. Like, there's so much you can do under the full moon, you know. But yeah, just have fun with it, and always make sure you always journal and write down what it is that you did, you know. So write down the date, you know, if it was the full moon, well, if the full moon happened to be in a zodiac sign, what zodiac sign was it in, you know, which moon it was. So if it was like the worm moon like it is today, or is it the strawberry moon, pink moon, blue moon, sturgeon moon, cold moon, wolf moon, you know, whatever moon it is. If it's a specific moon, write it. If it was like a solar, if it was a lunar eclipse, then you would write down lunar eclipse. Like, write all the information that you can get, or that you know of that specific moon. Write it down, you know, then write down the time, and then write down, you know, if you had any tools that you were using, well, write down your tools, and then write down what it is that you were working on, or what it was that you were releasing, and then write down the steps in the process that you took during your full moon ritual. And then if you welcomed anything in, then you would write down that. And then, you know, your overall thoughts, your final thoughts, final feelings of how you think it went. And then give it a couple of days, give it some time, and then leave some space, and then go back and be like, hey, you know, this is how I felt X many days later, or X many weeks later. Or, you know, if something actually happened after you did your full moon ritual, write it down. Leave that space so you can write it down. You'd be surprised, like, how in tune people are to the phases of the moon. I mean, we are like, our body is like, what, isn't it like 60 or 70% water? I can't remember what it is. But I mean, a huge part of our body is water, and the moon controls our emotions, controls water. And do you know what I mean? So, you know, that's why, like, some moon phases, the waters are calm, other moon phases, the water and tides are very high, and, you know, so on and so on. And I work in the public. I work retail, and it's funny because I actually see, like, I not only feel the shift, the energy shifts with the moon phases, I see it in people, especially the full moon. You know, the old saying, the crazies come out during the full moon. It really, unfortunately, is true. And it's so funny because at work, everyone would be like, oh my God, like, I don't understand. Like, what is wrong with people? I have coworkers that look for me specifically, you know, because they've had such a crazy day, or, you know, so many crazy, you know, customers, and they'll come looking for me. They're like, okay, Tammy, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Like, is moon, sun, like, what is it? And I'll be like, it's a full moon this weekend. And I'll be like, ah, okay, cool. So that explains it. You know, like, they purposely look for me and be like, hey, what's going on? Why are people so crazy right now? And I'm like, well, because it's the full moon this Saturday. That's why. And, you know, you notice, like, the closer and closer and closer we got to the full moon this week, the more irritable people were, you know, and some people were the opposite. Some people were really happy and cheerful and, you know, playful. And then you had other people where they were just like, you know, they just, Satan came through my cash. Like, they were just miserable, angry, and aggressive people, you know, and it didn't matter how nice you tried to be. They just, no, they weren't having it. They just wanted to lash out at somebody. And it's, you know, whether they want to admit it or not, but they're hugely affected by the moon. People in general are hugely affected by the moon, you know. Somebody, well, I don't know, you know, I'm not in a good mood, or I'm not whatever. Well, 9 out of 10 is probably because there's a full moon around the corner, you know. And some people are so sensitive that they're actually affected a week before that full moon even happens. I am, you know, like, I'll have kind of really crazy dreams. Sometimes there'll be like flashbacks of my childhood that'll kind of creep up, and I haven't dreamt about that in years, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then, you know, I have a hard time sleeping. Like, I won't be able to kind of settle my mind to fall asleep, and a bunch of different emotions. I'll have some days where I'm a little more sensitive, and then it's the opposite where it's like, I don't have a lot of patience, and like, no, you know. But it's just working in the public, and especially now, like, being on the path that I am and seeing and being able to make the connection. I mean, I always made the connection, but like, it wasn't in depth as it is now, obviously, because of my practice, right? So now, like, making all the connections and being like, oh, sister's really going through it, or homeboy's really going through it right now. It's always funny, and I always chuckle. And generally, I'm very good at protecting my energy, which is why, like, I carry specific stones, obviously, to protect my energy. I'm an empath, so I feel everybody's energy. There's certain places that I stay away from for that purpose. You know, hospitals and any type of, you know, hospice or like homes for elderly and things like that. I don't go to, because I feel so much, and those type of emotions, they end up kind of getting the better of me, and then I just have like waves, you know, of emotions going through. But out in the public and workplaces and things like that, I'm okay with, you know, protecting myself with it. I do find sometimes when we're coming close to a full moon, you know, sometimes I'll have that one customer that actually kind of penetrates through a little bit, and then, you know, with their negative energy. And then I kind of, you know, I go on my lunch break, and then that's why I carry my headphones. I put my headphones in, and I kind of breathe, and I listen to some meditative music just to kind of realign myself and reground myself, and then I'm okay. You know, I try not to let people's negativity affect me that way. But I mean, we're all human, and it does happen that sometimes just that one particular day, you know, you thought, you know, you were good, and they actually managed to kind of penetrate through. And as long as you realize that it happened, and you realign yourself and ground yourself as soon as you can, you know, even if it's only for 5 minutes, you know, going to the bathroom for 5 minutes to just kind of sit in the bathroom stall by yourself away from the situation to kind of gather your thoughts and kind of realign yourself. Do a couple of deep cleansing breaths to kind of, you know, recenter yourself and reground yourself. You'd be amazed, like that, you know, 5-6 minutes, it can help, you know, when you got to go back out on the floor and whatever, you know. So but try and, you know, try and start paying attention, you know, like if you're new to all this, you know, look up, you know, read up on the different phases of the moon and the different meanings and what you can do with each of the different phases. And then, you know, really start paying attention. Pay attention to when the full moon is coming. Pay attention if you have any changes or you can feel any changes kind of stirring about inside of you. And then pay attention to the outer community. You know, see if you can see the changes in the outer community and people, especially if you work with the public. See if you can see the changes and kind of pinpoint the different aspects of how the full moon changes different people, whether it's a positive or a negative, you know. And you can do the same for the new moon, because the new moon affects us too. You know, pay attention to the new moon, see what changes, you know. And always put a comment down below. What did you see? What did you experience? You know, if you're comfortable sharing it, share it in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the little notification bell. So every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified that there's been a new video uploaded for my channel. And again, guys, as I learn, I will teach you guys and of what I've learned. And I mean, you know, we can learn together. If you have any suggestions or any experiences, or if you have any websites that you guys get information on, put it in the comments down below. I'd love to look into it. But yeah, so that's it for this segment. And like I said, hit the like, hit the subscribe, notification, help my channel grow. I want it to grow so we can have a larger community, like a larger coven. We can all kind of talk and learn and, you know, things like that. But yeah, that's it for this one. Should be some unboxings coming up. I am still waiting for my March's witch casket, which I'm hoping will be in this week sometime, since it's the last week of March. It is coming from the UK, and with COVID, boxes tend to get delayed a little bit. So hopefully it's in this week sometime coming. And then same thing, I have Intentional Witch that should be here hopefully this week sometime. So those will be 2 new boxes coming up, and then next month we'll have 4 unboxing videos to do, and then going forward it'll be back to the 3 unboxing videos. As always, I will leave all the links down below of where you can get those boxes from, and, you know, information on the boxes. I'll try and write more information about each of the boxes. I've just been putting like the websites. Um, I haven't been putting any prices or nothing because I figure you guys can, once you click on the website, you'll see how much the boxes are and, you know, stuff like that. So, but I'll try and put more information on the boxes of kind of like items and amount of items, you know, things like that, like what you can kind of look for in the box. And then obviously the link, so then you guys can click the link and get the price, because depending on where you live, the prices are going to be different, obviously, right? So that's why I don't really put the prices down. I figure you guys will see the prices in like on the pages when you do your research of the boxes. So, but I will definitely put the links and try and put more information, especially with the intentional witch. There's a lot more information with that box, because there's I think there's like 8 different intentions that you can pick from, maybe possibly more. I'll know more once I get the first box of kind of how it works. I do know the first of every month, she sends you an email for you to choose your intention for that box. So I don't know if it's going to be the same list of intentions or if it's like a different list of intentions now, because now that you're a subscriber, I'm new to that box. So we'll all find out. Once I find out, you guys will find out. And I also will be doing an unboxing for a small Etsy shop. She makes candles. They're intentional candles. Here in Canada, she's lives in Montreal. I've been ordering candles from her for a year now, I believe. They're all handmade, so she only makes so many, and then she does like special candles, you know. I did purchase 2 candles from her. They should be coming in within the next week or two. So I will be doing a little kind of unboxing for her candles. And I'll have all of her information and her Etsy information available so you guys can buy her candles. They are phenomenal. I love them to death. I love the smell of them. She puts her intention in each of the candles. She's practicing witch herself, and she makes them all from hand. They're soya candles. They're just amazing, and each candle has a crystal on top of it. There's an intention in each of the candles. I have a candle here that I use for shadow work. It's amazing. She also does like thrift. She'll go to the thrift stores and she'll buy like antique teacups or antique like little glass kind of candy dishes. They kind of look like little candy dishes, and she'll make the candles in there. They're phenomenal candles. I really love her candles. I don't buy any other candles other than the candles that I get in my witchy subscription boxes, and obviously my chime candles. I buy my chime candles from my sister's shop. And then there's another shop here on the Ottawa side that I buy them from at Singing Pebble. But I try to do like a big stock when I shop at my sister's store. But yeah, so look for that video. That'll be a new one coming up as well for the candles. And I'll leave all the information for that. For her shop, the name of her shop, her Instagram, like all her social media platforms and stuff. So, all right, guys, I will let you guys go. And if I think of anything else, I may possibly do a video tomorrow. We'll kind of see how the day plays out. And yeah, love, light, and magic to you all. Be safe, stay safe, and enjoy this full moon magic.